Aquarius Sun and Rising. Welcome to your March 2024 Astro Update. It's Raina here. And so, what kind of month are we looking at? Well, March for you, because it's Pisces season right off the bat, this is going to be your second house of earned income. So, you may see that you are experiencing a boost to your cash flow. If you're looking for new income streams, this can be a time when things progress. Okay, as the month begins, the sun is in that second house along with the Mercury, and Mercury can be your mind starting to the wheels starting to turn in your mind about what it is that you want to manifest, and what kind of income streams that you want. Now, of course, the Sun and Mercury go into the sector every year. That's nothing new. But you also have some outer planets that are not always here. Now, Saturn has been here for the past year. Neptune has been here for a dozen years, and they couldn't be more different in terms of what they represent. In terms of Neptune, for over a decade being in this sector, um, Aquarians may have been more idealistic in terms of and altruistic in terms of money. I don't think of Aquarius as a sign itself that is um, overtly generous, and I don't mean that as a slam. What I mean is that if you look at the two planets that rule Aquarius, you have the traditional ruler of Saturn, which also rules Capricorn, and that can be known for being quite stingy and very controlled when it comes to money, and even depriving oneself sometimes. And then you have Uranus, which is the modern ruler and which we associate more in particular with Aquarius. And Uranus is very off kilter, it's very unpredictable, it's very nonconformist, rebellious. So when it comes to that attitude and one's attitude towards money, you can have Aquarians, maybe some of you, because of your basic lifestyle, you don't have a steady income. Maybe you are living a lifestyle that is kind of off the grid, so to speak, where you're doing your own thing and you value freedom above all else, and you just are not necessarily raking it in, and so you are very cautious about money. But whatever the case may be, there could have been some kind of an influence that has made you much more receptive towards the idea of money to help other people, and also to believe that it's going to be there when you need it and not obsessing over it. Although I don't think that Aquarians really obsess over money. I just think that some of you become very fixated, you're a fixed sign, on, I think, more of the Saturn side of things, where you don't want to kind of be too free spending. And sometimes that can even be excessively afraid to spend. And now maybe you trust that things will, work out the way that they're supposed to. So the other planet, so Saturn has been here for the last year, and that has influenced you in that way, in particular, to be more concerned about laying down a foundation for your future so that you don't have to worry about where you're going to get this money and where you're going to get that money. Because Aquarius is always wanting to be kind of breaking free from the system, some of you may even uh, have been like investing in cryptocurrency, which is, of course, part of the electronic system because Uranus rules technology. So that might be something that you find very intriguing. And Saturn is very traditional. So you may kind of you may have fallen back into more of a traditional way of investing or just saving money. Saving money, it looks like the interest rates for savings accounts are remind me of like the 70s, the late 70s, when I was a kid and I had my first bank account. Um, it got really pathetically low, didn't it, for a while? For a while, decades. So anyway, on the 10th of the month, Mercury goes into Aries, which forms a friendly angle called a sextile, and that is going to be in the house that Aries rules. I mean that Mercury rules the third house of communication, including social media, any kind of media, and teaching, learning, siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins. You could be in communication with these people more than you normally are for whatever reason. You could be tutoring someone or some people, kids, whoever. You could be taking a course. On the same day, the new moon is at 20 degrees of Pisces in that second house of earned income. So definitely, if you get hired someplace in a school system, third house can be elementary schools, and I think even high schools. So there might be something going on with that. On the 11th, the next day, Venus goes into Pisces. So Venus is the ruler of the second house. So when she is in her own domain, cha-ching, she is doing her thing in her own house. Venus is the divine feminine, the magnetic aspect of the law of attraction is the art of allowing. And that's what magnetism is drawing to you. So this can be a particularly great time in mid-March for you to um, have money come to you very, with ease. On the 19th, the sun goes into Aries, into that third house. There's just a lot of mental activity, and you may be stepping into some kind of a role that has to do with as a teacher or as some sort of student. On the 22nd, Mars goes into Pisces, into that second house, and now you have this hustler energy going on, ready to make your money. Venus is kind of languid, laying back and letting money come to her. Mars is the masculine, and it is going after it, maybe in multiple ways. But there's almost like a sense of urgency sometimes. So there may be a particular reason why you're doing this. You haven't had Mars here for quite a while because last year at this time, Mars was just about to go into Cancer. So you can imagine it's like half the zodiac away because we had that Mars retrograde in Gemini. So that really may have made you much more passive about money and not as, and that could have even indicated maybe that you had a good year money wise because you didn't have to really lift too much of a finger or exert too much energy. Now you're doing so. Or maybe you have a specific idea that you're trying to implement as a money-making idea. On the 25th, we have a lunar eclipse at 5 degrees of Libra. Libra is a fellow air sign, so this forms a trine, and this comes from the ninth house, Aquarius. So lunar eclipse in the ninth house is very much, I would say, could be some kind of a spiritual download, since this is the God house, that, some people may have a spiritual awakening, and it might be almost like a rather eureka moment. I remember one time, and I don't know if there was an eclipse happening, because I wasn't into predictive astrology, so I wasn't following that sort of thing. This was many years ago, and I was reading a book that was the catalyst for for one leg of my spiritual awakening, and I was 19 at the time. And I actually saw a light bulb go off in my head, and I had been an agnostic, wanting to believe in God, but just like, not sure. And this kind of like really aligned with me, what I read. And, we can have these dramatic moments in our life. I'm not one of those people that believes that there's just this one moment and then everything changes and nothing ever changes after that. I think that we have different levels of awakening. But yeah, this could be something that happens for you. This could be, I mean, the ninth house is connected with foreign countries. So, if you're an Aquarius person who is traveling at this time, you may, I don't know if I'd say you cut your trip short, but there may be something that occurs in terms of your travels that changes them and so shakes them up in some way. And by the way, if you do have some kind of a spiritual awakening, you may even want to travel to, like, let's say India, and you say, you know what, I'm going to go to India and I'm going to go and live in an ashram for 6 months. Like, you can let go of a country that, yeah, I would say, especially if you are abroad and maybe you said you never come back to the United States, and then you just like are finished with wherever you are at, and you said this is the last straw, because this is a very powerful full moon. So it can kind of bring something to the surface for you to be released. And sometimes Aquarians, because you are a fixed sign, you get very stubborn about your ideas. And then, that's why eclipses need to happen, because maybe, I mean, for all of us, as we have a tendency to cling to the known quantity instead of like seeking out new experiences for growth. And what ends up happening is that, we get shaken out of our comfort zone. Okay, that's what I have for you, Aquarius. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Have a great month. Bye.